Hey, hello, how you doing? My name is Tehja and welcome to Tehja's Wonderland, where this time I am transforming myself into the Little Mermaid in my own fashion design, in my own style, in my own aesthetic, if you will. This is the prep video. Don't mind the sirens. But this is the preparation video to prepare for the Little Mermaid fashion project. So I'll be going over the sketch, the materials, and also the patterns that I'll be using and all that good stuff. Stay tuned, grab a drink, grab a snack, grab whatever you want to grab, kick back, relax, and I hope this also inspires you as well. So let's get on to it. Alright, so first things first is the design for this fashion project. So I was always in love with this particular Dita Von Teese photo of her wearing something from the Blondes. It's like this seashell corset bodysuit, and she did have a pearl skirt. So that was the original idea. That was like the base like inspiration. I just wanted to make it in my own style, but I just always loved it, and I always loved that she was also in a clamshell as well. That might be goals, to be able to shoot this look in an actual, not an actual clamshell, but a big life-size clamshell, so I can be in it and shoot in it and all that good stuff. So I would love that. But yeah, so I was always in love with this photo, and so when I decided to do a fashion project based off of The Little Mermaid in celebration of the live action movie, that's my go-to. That was originally what I wanted to do. So here is the mood board that I made for all the inspirations that I saved and kind of drew from in order to create the sketch that I did and the design that I did for this Little Mermaid fashion project. Yeah, so it's just lots of seashells, lots of pearls, and then of course I was going to do the actual Ariel purple and green, or purple and aqua. I did aqua, then that's a whole other story. And just kind of create a very like upscale, like, you know, mature version and a higher fashion version of, you know, what Ariel is known for, which is the seashell cups and the mermaid tail. So this is the sketch that I designed based off of that, you know, mood board and kind of what I was inspired by. So very similar. I knew I wanted to do a Roxy bodysuit, and of course seashell cups because Ariel is infamously known for that, and then an aqua base bodysuit, and then a pearl skirt. I did want like dangly things from the pearl skirt, and I had two different designs of the pearl skirt, but I went with number 2. But I kind of trimmed a lot of it down because I didn't want it to be too much. I might add it later because I do want to do some tweaks to the pearl skirt anyway, but that's just kind of what I was working with, and that was like the base design. I also wanted hanging pearls like Dita had in that look in that photo shoot, but I also opted out of that because, again, I just didn't want it to be like overwhelming, because editing is super important for me, especially when I love rhinestones. I'm going to rhinestone everything and bead everything. So I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like overwhelming and clashing. So that is the sketch. That's pretty much what I'm going for. Also, the shoes were like undetermined, as they usually are. I'm the type of fashion designer that I see the main piece of clothing and all the accessories and hair, all that stuff is always afterwards. So anyway, so I ended up taking my original Roxy pattern, and then I have a Roxanne pattern, which is when the bust is raised. I believe I raised it 1.25 inches up because on the Roxy bodysuit it was already really low, because I was recreating a similar look to the Playboy bunny suit, but still with the slightly different flare. But I wanted a big bustedness to it, so that's why I was a little bit lower. So I want a higher bust for this look because you know, it would have fit the look, and then there's also a V-neck shape, or a V-neck or V plunge in the center between where the cups connect as well. So I wanted it to be a little bit higher so I didn't go too far into like my stomach area or anything like that. Yeah, so I created the Roxanne bodysuit by splicing the underbust and then raising it up 1.25 inches, and that's pretty much, and then connect the lines back, and then that's pretty much it. And that is the base that I used, and I added 1 inch to the bottom of the pattern for the little shell part, so I can, you know, finish the raw hem without it having a seam on the outside. So that's pretty much the pattern that I used. Also, the cups were cut out because I had to sew the seashell cups individually, because usually I had inserts for the Roxy bodysuit, but this time I needed to make the cups myself, so there was a cutout at the underbust as well where the cups go as well. And then also on my Patreon I go over how I like drafted the seashell cups, and also how I tested out the pattern for this project as well, so I'll link that down below, because it was just very helpful and insightful. I just did a lot of like tests and trials in order to get this pattern right, and I keep pointing down because the bodysuit's right here. Also, here is the bra cup pattern, the seashell bra cup pattern that I drafted. Now it's made up of 3 pieces. There's a piece number 1, piece number 2, and piece number 3. One's the inner cup, one's the center cup piece, and one's the outer cup piece, and they just have the scallops and also mimic the curve of a bra cup as well. And there's a base pattern for it and also a shell pattern, like just like the Roxy bodysuit itself. So I just wanted to come on here and explain that as well, and this is what they look like. And then next is the materials. I knew I wanted satin. I always love satin. I kept saying taffeta, I think, in the YouTube shorts. Oh, also, I already posted the YouTube shorts of me making this project. And if you want to check that out, you can go ahead. But these are, the YouTube videos are going to be like breakdown, step-by-step tutorials mostly of how I created like every single piece. So for y'all who have questions and want, or visual learners and want to understand how I made these things, or just love to watch the process, then these YouTube videos are for you. I use satin for both, for the fashion fabric layers. So just to expand on my thought process a little bit, I have this aqua satin fabric for the Roxy bodysuit to serve as the fashion fabric layer, and of course I have a matching thread. It is Eco Sew's thread in medium turquoise, I believe, and it matches perfectly. And then for the seashell cuffs, I have this light purple satin fabric. It's a little bit thinner. It's like the stretch satin fabric, but I still use fusible interfacing in order to like stiffen it up a little bit. And again, I have a matching thread for this fabric. So I have a Gutermann 100 thread and 2 different colors. I only show one here, but the 3904 color and the 1064 color, which are both 2 lavendery color threads. And then the same exact materials for like the typical Roxy bodysuit. I'll put the list here. Better yet, I'll give you some clips. So of course, 10-ounce duck canvas fabric for the structure, polyester lining fabric for the lining, cut and sew bra foam for the cups, heat and bond fusible interfacing to just fortify the fashion layers, Eco Lock. Ooh, what color is this? I think it is supposed to be like aqua or something. It's the color mint, but like literally it's just green. And so I got this by accident because it looked more aqua in the photo. So I used this for the structure layer and all the places you wouldn't see the thread. Of course, bra wire for the cups, a V separator for the little V plunge in the middle of the Roxy bodysuit. Of course, 1/2 inch plastic boning and 1/4 inch plastic boning, because with the 1/4 inch I like to use that at the center back. And then of course the cotton twill tape in 1.25 inch width, and gold grommets just to add be the closure of the Roxy bodysuit. Oh, I also added later, I didn't show y'all, but a hook and eye closure at the crotch area, just for like easier comfort and all that stuff. And also it helped to also put my bodysuit onto my dress form as well. Yeah, of course I have rhinestones. All the rhinestones that I use to adorn this Roxy bodysuit are from my summer collection from Tehja's Wonderland, the brand. And so I'll link that down below as well. Like literally every single one, except for a few random ones that are just from my own collection that I don't even remember where they're from. And then the pearls are also from Tehja's Wonderland, but I'm testing them right now. But yeah, the pearl beads to make the skirt are from Tehja's Wonderland. And also I used a lot of eye pins in order to make them into beads. And I also used the octagon bead strands that are typically used for like chandelier making and lamp work and all that stuff in order to make the pearl skirt. But of course I'll break that all down in the separate videos. So anyway, that I think is pretty much it. I hope so. That's pretty much it. I also styled it with a red synthetic wig and my white like platform stripper heels as well. So I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of prep that I did in order to fully prepare for this project, because next video we'll just jump right into sewing and construction. So here we go. So first things first is that I cut out all of my fabric pieces. So for the structure layer, I used the base sewing pattern for both the Roxy bodysuit and the bra cups, and I cut it out of the canvas fabric. Then also I used the base sewing pattern to cut out the bra foam for the cups, and also the lining layer. Oh yeah, and the lining layer for the Roxy bodysuit. I'll probably list it here too. And then for the fashion fabric layer, for the satin layer, I did the shell patterns for the satin and the fusible interfacing and fusible interface, all that. And then I cut it all out. I usually like to trace the pattern pieces onto the fabric and then just cut it all out because it just makes it easier that way. Oh, and for the bra cups as well, I cut the lining out of the shell fabric so that I can like have literally a shell that folds over the structure layer of the seashell cup. But y'all will see that in the actual tutorial. It'll make more sense that way. But that's kind of like the fabric breakdown that I'm going with. So these are all of the fabrics cut out, and then I'll fusible interface everything, but I'll also put here in text. I'll show y'all in text here what's cut out of the base sewing pattern and what's cut out of the shell sewing pattern just to make it more visual and like easier to understand. And then here I'm ironing everything just to make it a little less, you know, wrinkly, because you're really supposed to iron your fabric before you cut it out, but I have a bad habit of doing the opposite because I'm very impatient. So I iron the pieces out after the fact. And so I'm just doing that real quick. And like I told y'all, I'm going to fusible interface all the satin pieces just to fully prepare the fabric pieces to be sewn. Also make sure that you transfer all of your notches and all that good stuff. All of the like detail stuff like written out will be all posted on my Patreon that is linked down below. So anyway, lovelies, I'll see y'all in the actual video of me constructing all of these garments. So anyway, as always, love yourself, and I will see you next video. Mwah!